Hi and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is VlogsBoutNothin. Thank you very much for everything. You tune in, you hit the thumbs up, you subscribe. I appreciate it, and all because, I'm really trying to spread the seed of nothingness here. I think it's a great sort of ideological sort of foundation to live one's life upon. It's a lot less stressful and it's a lot easier than you might want to think. You feel me? It just requires letting go of what most everyone, finds to be important and stuff. No big deal. It's just talk about nothing. And so that's what we do here. We talk about nothing. Thank you very much for all the new subs and viewers. I really appreciate y'all. I truly, truly do. And every day, 4 videos now for going on 3 months. Like, holy potatoes, and almost 600 subs. Like, I'm over here doing little dances and stuff. So don't you worry about what I got going on when I'm off camera in terms of, watching Seinfeld, Smallville, and practicing my dance moves. This is sort of what I do when I'm doing nothing. And yeah, that's the extent of it. But let's talk about California's water supply. Okay, so if y'all have never been to California, well, I mean, it's not like you're missing much. And I say this as a West Coast kid, you feel me? I'm all about the West Coast. I have enjoyed every time I've been in California. It's not like I think it's a bad place. In fact, it's, a lot like where I'm from in Albuquerque, a lot where everyone's from in the United States as far as where humans decided to build towns, which was largely like in low-lying valleys, surrounded by a mountain or a mountain range at some area that's close by. At least that's how it feels on this side of the country. Like Albuquerque's a valley, Denver's a valley, Los Angeles is a valley, and so I literally attended a school called Valley, and I'm from a place called the North Valley, in the valley of Albuquerque in New Mexico. So yeah, valleys are pretty important, as far as where people live. And I say that because Los Angeles reminds me a lot of Albuquerque. It's just bigger. Obviously, they have bigger Sandia Mountains, right? It's that Big Bear Mountain. You feel me? But like California has a problem with water consumption, and this is the thing. Like, as much as I love California, and obviously, why wouldn't I? Like, Los Angeles, San Francisco. My brother's boyfriend is from Fremont, you feel me? And we drove out there, almost drove out there. Not a good drive. Oh man, parents just don't understand. Oh my goodness. Though, mom, dad, as much as I love you guys, anyways, that was a bad trip. And so, and it wasn't even our fault. Like that, anyways, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Palm Springs, these are all the places that I've been, San Diego, Venice Beach. These are obviously again, I love Cali. Like, one of my favorite shows is the OC. One of my favorite teams are the Lakers. Like, love California. It's just they got a water problem. I say that, and I started talking about all of that, and I'm not trying to repeat myself, but um, in California, like I go to Palm Springs a lot, right, for Coachella, and in Palm Springs at Coachella there are lots of waterfalls. I don't know. I just it's you can't explain it unless you've been there. Like, you hear about California using a lot of water and there being a shortage of water, and you hear about it. In fact, link in the description below to a documentary that talks about California's water supply crisis. Now, I haven't even completed watching the documentary, but I do know that from sourcing the idea of my improv talk about California's water supply, that it is completely relatable in that they are providing visual, empirical evidence of things that are hard to explain unless you've been there. And I think that wraps it around, like, in that way. I don't mean to go off a little bit sometimes, but I try to wrap it back in. Regardless, it's a trip, dude. Like, if you go to California and you go to the airport, Palm Springs International, or like you're in Encino Valley, you feel me? Valley, your Palm Springs, you know, it's like I, there's just where all of the rich people live, there's a lot of water being used. And I mean, like, oasis in the desert, you know? And what's weird is that, Joshua Tree National Park, I guess used to be one of my favorite parks until I recently learned that, like last night we did a video on downwinders. And so that whole part of the country, like Kingman, like northern Arizona, the places that I love, places that my community loves, places that indigenous tribes have called home for thousands of years, is kind of like in a highly radioactive nuclear fallout zone, you feel me, where nearly 1,000 bombs have been detonated just a few hundred miles north. So, anyways, we're talking about. I know it can get we can get off topic right away, but this stuff all comes together. It's crazy. Anyways, the water supply is an issue. As much as I love seeing all the green in Palm Springs, and as much as I love walking around as the poorest dude in the valley in that part, like seriously, these people have money. And I'm the only person walking, everyone else is in really fancy cars. The Walgreens there has a valet. Anyways, so I'm walking because I walk everywhere. I'm not going to be walking everywhere anymore if you've seen that video, but surely, I'd walk everywhere. And in Palm Springs, near the mansions, like outside of their walled, compounds, they have these big trees that like just shoot out all these grapefruits. And you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. Like you're walking down like this super fancy street and it's just completely littered with all of these grapefruits, these ruby red grapefruits. And it's like it's so insane. Like I would just, I was obviously eating a lot of grapefruits because I was enthralled with the excitement level of having found native wild ruby grapefruit trees being, I mean, like again, it's real hard to explain, but yeah, so California's got a water supply problem because they use a lot of water and it doesn't rain a lot there. So given the fact that it doesn't rain a lot there, it's not very cloudy, it's super hot, and that they use a lot of water and there are millions of people that live there, I'd say that it's definitely a problem, I just, it's, again, it's something that you just don't know unless you see. And there's been times where outside of polo fields, and this, how does this sound, Outside of polo fields, in Indigo, like, or, I just, there are these extravagant man-made waterfalls. Like, I can't say that any other way because there's no other way to say that, but it is true. And yeah, there's no fake grass over there. And it's very nice. And so again, I'm just trying to humorously talk about how the documentary below in the link discusses something far more severe and far more impactful than how we're talking about it, you feel me? But it's sort of like California's got a water usage problem because has a water supply problem because they got a water usage problem because there's a lot of people that live there. A lot of business is conducted there. It takes a lot of water to clean or to treat, that kind of waste that comes from. And again, I would know this, right? Because I've said this before, being from Albuquerque, New Mexico, South Mountain Missile Range, as well as Intel, Sandia, and Los Alamos National Laboratories. So it's like, it's not like our water is any cleaner. I just, from a common sense perspective, this is how I think about the local water supply. And I mean, just because it's like, you think that we all share the same water and it's got to go somewhere. And, and so, I mean, what do I know? Link in the description below to a forever problem chemical, the forever chemical problem. And that one's interesting too because it talks about how water, PFAS, has been polluted all over the world, and traces of PFAS can be found in literally every single water sample taken on the surface of this planet. I just, I wish I was making this stuff up. I really do, but I'm not. So I hope that you guys have a lovely weekend. Be safe, stay safe out there. Enjoy your Friday night. My advice is to do nothing. You always go out. You're always going out. You're always having fun. Going out. Have fun staying in. Do nothing. Buy a bag of chips and watch something on Hulu. Or better yet, do what I do. Eat a bag of chips while watching a 30-year-old movie on a 30-year-old electronic device. It's interesting. Bye. Have a good night, everyone.